Hey, this is Jeremiah with C Codes, and we're going to be doing a simple API call today just to show getting API calls using that information and putting it into the DOM with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and jQuery. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to right click here and open my terminal or bash here, and I'm just going to make a folder for this project called, we'll call it API demo. Then we'll go into it. Then we'll make an index.html. It's going to be very simple. I'm not going to do any folder structures or anything. I'm just going to do a main, we'll call it style.css, and main.js. Okay. Then I'm going to type code and open that in VS Code. Cool. So we have our index, main.js, and style. Then I'm going to go to bootstrap.com. And in Bootstrap, I'm going to grab if you click on Get Started, you go down to the bottom. They have a starter template for you in it's HTML. You can click and drag and copy it, or you can just click this button right here, and then come into your index and paste. It's going to give you the link to Bootstrap. It's going to give you a slim version of jQuery, which I'm going to actually change out for the regular version of jQuery. So that we can use Axio or Ajax, and then yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go now to code.jquery.com and grab this CDN for the minified rather than the slim. Paste it there, and oops, what have I done? Oh, so I don't think their copy actually works, which is funny because this is jQuery, so it's like what they do, right? There we go. Okay. And I have prettier, so it's just going to edit it a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer, hopefully. Okay, so if we open this up, we get a little hello world. Cool. Now, I want to add in a style sheet of my own. I called it style.css, so I'm just going to type link, and then you can go down here to CSS, and it'll automatically set that up for you. You even put style and highlights it so you can change it, but I named mine style, so that's good. Then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do the same thing with a script tag. We're going to go main.js. Okay. Now, we saw what it looked like a minute ago. Let's make the background blue just to make sure this is connected. And then just to make sure this is connected, we're just going to alert JS connected. Okay. Save both of these and load it. I'm using Alt-B to load it. We get blue. Cool. Everything's connected and working. I can get rid of that awful alert. And background color. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just working with a very simple API. I'm going to use one I've worked with before. It allows you to search for Pokemon cards. I think it's pretty easy to work with. So yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Bootstrap grid. So I'm going to go div.container. And then inside of that, okay, so what I'm doing here, first of all, if you just type div.container, it'll make a div with a class of container. And then you can put an arrow to put something inside of that div. I'm going to do a row. And then I'm going to, I can put columns here. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop at a row and give it an ID. So like we can put dot for our class, we put hashtag for an ID of card container. Okay? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go check out this API. So the API we're going to be using is called, what is it? PKMN. I think it's Pokemon Cards IO. Okay. So I can come here and it says join the community of developers building with the TCG API. Okay. It gives you an example. It has card right there. It says cards question mark name equals Charizard. Cards question mark name equals Charizard. And we get back all of these Charizards. Okay, cool. So it also allows you to get back JSON. Actually, it comes back as JSON, but it's just showing you how this works. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a call, and we're going to use this. I'm just going to use this as an example, basically, and make sure that we can get it working the same way. So if we go here, I'm just going to copy that for now. Okay, so I'm going to go into my main. Actually, we should probably set up the HTML first. Let's set up the HTML first. So instead of hello world, we're going to say Pokemon card search. Okay, and then we're going to go, we're going to do a input so like a text, yeah, card name, ID, card, we'll just call it ID search. And then underneath this, we're going to do a, let's do a Bootstrap button. Make it a, actually I should do a Bootstrap. Sure, we'll do a Bootstrap form, even though it's going to be, yeah, we'll do a Bootstrap form. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to go to Bootstrap. And in Bootstrap, we'll go to components. Go to forms, and kind of want something pretty simple. Oh no, not that. I was like, that actually looks good. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. There are a lot of options. So I might grab this one. And then we can just get rid of username, remember me, all that. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one, stick it right here, and that is a lot. So name, we're going to change to, okay, before I get into this, so you see we have this form. I can click on form here and it'll highlight the matching one. Okay, so everything we just put is inside of this form. Okay, so then we have this div. That's good. Everything, this is where all the main stuff goes. Everything goes inside of this form. We want to have this submit button. We want a submit button. That's cool. Let's give it an ID. Let's just spell it out correctly. Okay, submit button. And then we don't want this remember me thing. And we don't want this username thing. We just want name. Okay, so let's save it and make sure that we didn't delete anything that we wanted. Oops. Just gonna load it here with Alt B. Cool. But now we're gonna change this so it's not all namey and stuff. So to do that, class SR only for inline form input. That's fine. Inline form input. We're gonna change these to search. We're gonna change name to Pokemon name and placeholder to Pikachu. Cool. Yeah, so this should be good. Let's check it out. Go back to the page, reload it. We got Pikachu, we got our submit button. Great. So now we can go into our JS, and we want to run a search when we click on that button. So we need to make an on click. So first we got to grab it with jQuery. It's the thing with ID of submit button when we click on that. So you can do a dot click here, but most of you may be more familiar with dot on click. So we're going to go function. It's going to be an anonymous function. Parameters. No, we don't need parameters. We can just grab it directly from the input form. Okay. Oh wait, we do need a parameter. Well, we'll come to that later. I'll show you when it messes up. Okay. So the first thing is, let's grab the text that they typed in. So to do that, it's ID search. So we're just going to go, hey jQuery, grab the thing with the ID of search and get its value, but trim it. Okay, and we're going to make this a variable called Pokemon. Okay, so that's what they're searching for, Pokemon. And then we are going to okay, then we're going to, for now, let's just console.log that Pokemon. Okay, and here's where we'll run into that error that I was talking about. So let's go to the, and this is just prettier editing it down. It's the same as it looked before. Okay, so let's go here and we type Pikachu, hit submit, and the page reloads. You see that? It's reloading. So the reason that's reloading is because it's a submit button. And I think, actually, I'm going to check if I'm right about this, because I think it, and I never try it. I think I could just take this type submit off, and it wouldn't do that. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm just going to put that back. I don't think we need it, but so what we're going to do here is we're going to put event, and then just at the very top we're going to do event dot prevent default, and that should fix the problem. Yep, no longer reloading. Cool. So now we can do Pikachu. Let's go ahead and bring up the console. Okay, we click submit and it says Pikachu, and apparently clicked the button 9 times before that and there's nothing in there, so it just said nothing. Okay, cool. So then we have this submit button done. We have this not reloading. So now that we have that, we need to actually do the search. So I'm going to do a search with Axios. or I keep saying Axios, Ajax. Okay, so it's not, it's, I keep saying Axios, Ajax, and then we pass Ajax an object with a method property, get, and then a URL. Okay, and for now we're just going to use a very basic URL. So I'm going to go back to the this thing, and we see https://api.pokemon.tcg.iov1/cards, and name is Charizard. Okay, so oops, did not like that. Okay, so it was https it wouldn't let me copy that. api.pokemon.tcg.io/v1. I think that's what it was. Let's try that out. So I'm going to come over here, Alt B, click, and check the console. Nothing. Okay, let's go back. https://api.pokemon.tcg.io. Oh, we're not doing anything with it. Okay. Dot then. Actually, let's do this. Dot then. We run a function. We're going to pass it response, and we're going to just console log response. And the fact there was nothing in the console there is a good sign. I mean, it's probably worked. No errors or anything. Oh, it doesn't matter what I type in. It's hard-coded at the moment. Yeah, cool. And we get back these beautiful cards. Great. Okay, so now let's make it so we can actually choose which Pokemon we get back. So instead of doing name equals Charizard, we're going to do name equals, and then we're going to concatenate the Pokemon that was searched for on the end. Then function response, console log response. Cool. Let's run it real quick. Let's try it again with Pikachu. Okay, so we got, I just hit enter, and Bootstrap makes it so when you hit enter, it's just going to run the button for you. Got all these cards. So I open up my response object, and the first thing I see is cards, right? If I close cards, that's the only thing we're interested in. So we're going to go into cards. Then we have an array of 88 things. So let's go ahead and just console.log response.cards. Okay. Then we have an array of 88 things. Inside of each one, we want the image. Okay. High res. Ooh. Sure, we'll do high res. So image, or sorry, cards, and then at 0, and then we want image URL high res. Okay. So let's see if we can do that. So we wanted to print all of them. So I'm going to start off just with console logging them. We're going to go, I should just use that other one, response.cards at I, we're going to put this in a for loop, dot, I think it was image URL high res. Let's go double check that. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to make a for loop for this. For var I equals 0, as long as I is less than response.cards.length. Increase I by 1. And then we'll just take this. Okay, and let's see if it works. Okay. And yeah, we got back 88 links. Cool. So now what we want to do is inside this for loop, I'm going to get rid of this. Inside this for loop, we're going to, instead of console logging all the images, we're going to create an image and give it the source of the URLs that we got back. So I'm going to use jQuery to create an image, and to do that, it's very similar to grabbing something, but you put tags around it. Okay, so image, we're going to call this Pokemon card. Then we're going to give Pokemon card the attribute source, and we're going to set the source attribute equal to the URL that we're getting back. Okay, and doing this does actually nothing. We've created it, but we haven't put it onto the page. So now I'm just gonna I guess we didn't even need the rows and columns the way I set it up. I'm just gonna get rid of this row. Well, I guess it's fine. We'll just do it in the row. Card container. So we're just gonna append it to card container. So to do that, we do hey jQuery, grab the thing with the ID of card container and append to it our Pokemon card. Okay, and I think that will work. So let's check Pikachu, submit, and it sure worked. And those are massive cards. Okay, a little bit bigger than what I wanted. Ooh, all different sizes too. That's not great. So let's give these images. I wonder if I can just do this. I know I can do this if I put a closing tag. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter. Well, I should do it now that I've said it. I could have just done this with image because they're the only images on the page. But let's reload, hit submit. Okay, cool, it works. Just to make sure, I'm going to see if this has a class of Pokemon card. It does. Cool. So we're going to go to our styles, and we're going to go, we're going to give everything with the class of Pokemon card a width of, I want to say they're like 3 by 2-ish. Let's just start off with 30%. And we won't end there, but we'll start there. Okay, then I'm going to go, all right, give me all the Pikachus. Okay. The width changed, but the height did not change. So I'm going to undo this, and I'll get an idea of their approximate, because some of them were different heights, but they should all be about the same proportion. So if we can get an idea here, let's see. This is 734, you can see it up here. 734 by 1024. So 734 by 1024. 0.71. Okay. So let's go. Let's say we want to make it 300 pixels high, 215 wide. Okay, so we're just going to go with that. 215 215 pixels, and height 300 pixels. Okay, and then I think that's it. So we do Pikachu, hit submit, and we get back all these beautiful Pokemon cards, right? Seems cool. Now we can give these a little bit of padding or margin. I mean, let's give these each a little bit of margin. And by this point, I mean, if you want to be done, you got the idea. Let's go margin. Let's go 15 pixels. Sure, Pikachu. A little bit better, and then you can do different things, like you can do some hover effects and stuff like that if you want, but this is good. So then we can do now when we do something else, like let's say I think that's how you spell it. I should know that. Oh yeah, so it's just being appended here, so we want it to empty when that happens. So let's start this on click by emptying this card container. Okay, then we can do okay, and look, we have an incomplete database, so it just gives us a card back. And then we can do a new one. And it replaces them. Cool. So there's our little API. And looks good. So hopefully this was helpful.